What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English. Welcome to another video in the Pass the Interview video series where we break down the interview processes and most common questions for the world's most famous companies to help you get hired. So let's get into it. What would you do if a client was left unsatisfied from HSBC's service and claimed to stop cooperating with the bank? This is a cool question. I like picking out questions that I think are sort of new and novel and I don't normally see. This is a situational judgment question. So first of all, a good thing to think about whenever you get asked a question that you're not sure of is, why am I being asked this question? Why are they asking me this? Well, really, this is about customer service and resolving conflict. So how am I going to break this down? Well, first of all, if a client is unsatisfied with the service, I would want to call them and say, hey Dave, I understand from your email that you're really unhappy about the service that we provided. Can I just ask why? Can I ask what is it that we've done that has left you so unhappy? I just want to listen to you to make sure that we can improve our service. If not for you, then for other customers. That gives the client, the customer, the opportunity to essentially vent their frustration. You know when you get really upset and you just want to go and vent down the phone? That's exactly what we're doing here. So we give them the opportunity to vent, we listen to them, we're studious in what we're doing. We're not trying to correct the customer. We're not trying to say, well, actually, you know, you need to stay with us because of X, Y, Z. We just need to listen to them.
Listen to me now.
Right? The next thing that we're going to do is say, okay, listen, Dave, I completely understand that the way that we process those payments was slow and is something that we need to rectify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and speak to my manager and see if there's anything that we can do to make sure that that doesn't happen again for you, because I know how crucial it is to process payments quickly for your business. For example, right? It could be many, many different things, but the point is you're trying to say to the customer, I hear you. I want to offer you a solution and I want to show you that I care about you and I want to do something about that. Now the customer can still leave, but the customer is not less likely to leave if you say, please don't leave me, right? That's not going to be effective. The customer wants what they want and you want what you want. So in order to bring those two things together, you're going to need to be able to listen to what they're saying. Then you can come back, send them an email, whether that be something else, another service that you can provide, but basically dealing with their problem. Because change, well, think about it, right? Think about who you have your bills with, your phone with. Even if they're not great, most people don't want to change because it's a pain in the bee. It's a pain in the bee to change your telephone provider and all that kind of stuff. Exactly the same thing here. Question number 4. Describe why it is important to build relationships between colleagues from different departments. I love this question. I've seen this question before. PwC used to ask this question quite a lot. It was about relationship building. Well, why is it important? And is this a strength question or is this a competency question? Well, to be honest, it could be both. It could be like, well, it's important to build relationships with colleagues from different departments because HSBC is really big. So each of us has our own individual piece of the puzzle or information that we have on a client, but only by communicating holistically, making sure that the channels are open and really understanding the needs of our customers and what they're going through, can we deliver really great service from the bank as a whole? Cool. That's how we'd answer it as a strength-based question. What about a competency-based question? Well, we'd provide an example. Maybe when we had to deal with different people from different departments, and this can be in any job, could be in a fast food job. I used to remember when I used to make burgers at KFC, it was my very first job because I wanted to buy a Nokia 3310. My mum said, I'm not paying £100 for a mobile phone, go and get a job. And I went and got a job at KFC. And my job was making the burgers because I was too shy to work on the tills. I didn't like it. So I said, you know what, I'll make the burgers. So you would have to communicate because someone would come in and say, oh, they want this burger with no lettuce, or this burger with extra mayonnaise, or a chicken burger with extra chicken, whatever it is. So that was a bit of communication. Whatever you're doing, if you're a waiter, if you're working behind a bar, you're communicating. There's stuff that's going on there, right? And you can use that in your example. And finally, question 6, how would you feel about working with new colleagues and how would you approach building a successful relationship with them? Again, great question, because that's exactly what you're going to be doing, right? Everybody's been the new guy at work. I can remember my very first job when I graduated from university was at a construction company and I was bricking it. Bricking it is basically slang for like pooping. I was going to poop my pants, right? Because I came in and everyone was much older than me and I looked more experienced and people were picking up phones and talking like businessy language, and I was like, oh, I was there in my suit sweating, right? And basically what I did was I just started to get to know people and just sort of say like, hi, my name's Mike, I've just joined, like, who are you, what do you do, if there's anything like that I can do to help you, just let me know. So I just went around and I was just generally friendly to people. Not everybody had the time for me because they were busy, right? And that was the thing that I kind of learned. It wasn't about me, it was just about the fact that like, I've got 3 quotes to get out before 11 a.m, go away. Or they might go, oh, actually, now that you're here, I really need help with X, Y, or Z. So how would you feel about working with new colleagues? Well, I'd feel great. It's a really exciting opportunity. I met some wonderful people at that company, and every company that I've worked at since, I have met really great people. Not everybody was my cup of tea. Some people are douchebags. That's just the way that it is. But I feel good because I kind of like meeting people, not loads of people, but like one-on-one or a small group. I quite like that. And then how would you approach building a successful relationship with them? Well, be honest, be helpful, be open-minded, and be willing to learn. I find that both as a coach, as an entrepreneur, and as an employer, these are things that I really look for in people. If they're really just kind of honest, open-minded, and willing to learn, that's pretty much the how of being a good employee from my books. And of course, there are people who might ask you to do more things that you want to do and all that kind of stuff in office politics. But in the beginning, I think that's a really good way to live it. It's like, how? Honest, open-minded, willing. Cool. How would you go about correcting a senior colleague who has made a mistake? I love this question because it's I think internally anybody sort of thinks like, how am I going to correct somebody who's made a mistake, particularly if they're older than me, they're more experienced than me, I respect them. This is kind of a situational judgment question, but it's quite interesting. So I wanted to have a look at this rather than your standard teamwork questions. So first of all, how do we correct a senior colleague who's making a mistake? Well, number one, be sure in your facts, right? So if, say, for example, I've spotted a mistake that, say, a manager has made or somebody who's just a little bit more senior than me, I would probably identify the mistake, clearly lay out my working, and then go and speak to somebody else and say, hey, I think Anne's made a mistake, but could you check this for me? Could you just double check that my thinking is correct around this, or maybe there's something I haven't taken into account, maybe some information on some data has been updated, I'm not privy to all of the latest information. So I get myself fact checked first of all. The second thing I do is approach that person by themselves. I think one thing, and a lot of times situational judgment questions are kind of common sense, nobody wants to be shamed. Nobody wants to be called out in front of their peers or in front of an office and say, oh, have you checked this? This is terrible. I can't believe you've made a mistake. Particularly if it's somebody senior than you. I mean, it's completely unforgivable to, in a way, do it as a manager because it's a power play. But to do it to somebody who's more senior than you is possibly going to make your life really difficult. So, say for example, I had to go and speak to Anne. I'd say, would I be able to just speak to you in the conference room by yourself? I've just got a question or something that's come up and I want to run through this with you. And then I'd sit down with them and first of all, very logically go through what I found and say, Anne, I just wanted to let you know I've been going through this report and I think that I've actually calculated this to be a different result, or something is different. I believe that maybe a mistake has been made, but I just wanted to double check with you and go through this with you because of course you've got more experience than me. I have checked with another colleague to see if the way that I've gone through this is correct, but I just wanted to go through it with you and just check and see what you thought. And then, you kind of go through it, and the good thing is that hopefully that person also has a sense of maturity, and we all make mistakes, right? So then we can go through, correct the mistake, because ultimately it's not being right or wrong, it's about delivering the best service to the client. That's what's really important. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a blast putting it together. If you want to know any more about Job Ready English and what we do and the coaching that we provide and our systems, then have a look down in the descriptions below, or you can send me an email, mike@jobreadyenglish.com, and I will see you again soon. And like, comment, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment down below telling us what video you'd like us to do next. Bye.